we might welcome Mark and Alison into the room. We've given you guys a chance to come on over, so we will get started with the show. Welcome.
Hi.
I'm so sorry, we were just talking about it, and then Facebook did it again. But I know Scott's already been over there because I can see him fiddling away in the background, sharing the link. So welcome. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having us once again. How are you going over there?
They're fantastic, actually, except for today. It's really cold. We've gone from beautiful weather to cold weather, and I'm not liking it. My toes are cold.
We had it the same here. Where we are in Whyalla, South Australia, we're on the edge of the desert, we always say.
Yes.
And yesterday was like 36 degrees and roaring desert winds, and then overnight huge electrical storms and rain, and today it's about 12 degrees. Like, it's just unbelievably different.
It's crazy, isn't it? And it's no wonder people are sick. No wonder they get colds, because we go from Kaz has jumped over. Kaz was the first to jump across tonight. She's amazing.
And thank you so much for the wonderful online review, Kaz. We just appreciated that so much. We just loved it. It was so beautiful.
How good is Kaz at her reviews too, though. Her way, I love Kaz's way with words when she writes it, because
absolutely. No, it was such a thrill. I mean, when we read that, it was we just felt really, really happy, because putting out the album and telling our stories for people to react to them and to have their own take on it, it just made us feel really special. We've had some people come up to us in the street and say, "This is just my highway driving album now. I drove across the Nullarbor listening to you guys, and the stories meant so much." And and so when Kaz put her review up, it was the same sort of thing. It means something to us, that it means something to other people. So that's really special.
It does. And I think the good thing with people doing that is, like, people like Kaz and all the people that do these reviews for artists, because they're truthful in what they're feeling, people know that, that's going to be a good album. I'm going to go and have a listen. I think it's, the fans have got that trust in the people that are reviewing things, which is amazing, because Kaz reviews a lot of music. She's incredible. That'd be just, So how have you been? It's been a little while. It's gone quickly, but it also feels like it's been long as well. That makes sense.
Yeah, we were talking about it offline, weren't we? It's only, 4 months. We would talk to you in May, so that's June, July, August, September. 4 months, a little bit since the album came out, which in one way sounds like it's a long time. And when we look at what's happened as we've moved through that period, we just haven't stopped. But at the same time, I don't know whether it feels like it was a long time ago or it's just starting. What we have found, I guess, is that I think when we talked to you back at the start, we were talking about how we'd have to weigh up when you look at how music has changed since, say, 20 odd years ago when we last did a CD release. And CD and an album, you'd be marketing that for a year or two.
Absolutely,
longevity. And we were talking about, I wonder how it has changed with the digital realm now, where it's kind of all the young kids in particular. It's like, I like that, swipe. I don't like that, swipe. I don't like that. Would it be when we talk to you now?
It's almost like a cover, and if they don't like the cover, they don't even look at the song or listen to it. It's like no, or yes, It is
no
crazy
anymore. It's just consuming, and it's all very instant. And I think it's really important that maybe that, like we've said to you in the past, being on the internet is an amazing thing, and having connection. We couldn't do this if it wasn't for the internet, and being able to have music on various different devices is an amazing thing. But at the same time, just remembering that, taking that step back and remembering that the creation of that music was a whole process. And so maybe listening to the music should be a process as well. And
exactly. I think what we've got to remember is it's not AI doing the music, it's still real people doing the music. And I think we forget that with the internet. We forget that there's a human behind what we're seeing.
And I think what's really struck us is that by now, 4 months in, we were thinking, well, we're kind of on track with what we talked about last time. So when we talked to you last time, Lullaby, the first single, had just come out. That did really strongly on radio. And then about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Broken Ground came out with the first music video.
Is it 3 or 4 weeks already since that came out?
Oh my God. We've kind of lost track of it, because the Australian Music Women in Music Awards thing last week wasn't just that. It was we always joke about how every year we have what we call a vortex moment, where everything that could possibly happen happens in that little period of time. And if there was any way you could space it out across the year so that, it was easily dealt with.
Yes. But, wouldn't that be lovely?
It's crazy because in South Australia, we're just now going into the school holiday break. And because
Yeah.
Oh, so Tasmanians are sensible. They're like South Australians.
Right.
We got to Queensland, they were 1 week in, and then New South Wales is 2 weeks in, and it's confusing.
It's confusing, yeah. I don't know why we do that.
But I mean, we had this ridiculous week before we were talking to you now, where it was something like we had in our local town here in Whyalla, we had one of our original songwriter students who had been asked to do a guest spot on. Every year they do 2 nighttime theatre performances of the combined school choirs with all the kids from all the schools of our region. And then as part of that, every year they offer a guest spot to feature somebody who was one of our students. And she's just recorded a 3-song EP with us as well. So we had 2 nights in a row at the theatre for hours just to do these couple of song performances. And then we had a couple of days where we then had to go back to the maybe 15 hours a day teaching that we were doing to wrap up the term. And then we had Saturday to pack for what was ahead. We had Sunday, we were all day. We had to drive up to Port Augusta, which is an hour away, because we're writing and recording and producing the School of the Air's new school song up there. So all the kids from all over remote South Australia, 2 or 3 times a year, they drive down to Port Augusta. When we're not teaching them online, we see them there 3 or 4 times a year.
Wow. That would feel so special after all online, just coming together.
Yeah, to get together for what they call it mini schools, and just to be able to be face to face with those students and actually have that up close interaction with them. It is really special.
Some of these kids live as far away as the Northern Territory border, and they really don't see. Some of them are only children too, so all they see for the rest of their life is mum, dad, whoever's working on the station, whoever they can communicate online with. So we're up there for all of the Sunday and night recording. We have to take our mobile recording studio, build it at School of the Air for all the kids to come in and sing their song. That was all day Sunday. That was all day and night Monday. We got back here about 7 o'clock Monday night. We flew out at 6 o'clock Tuesday morning to Brisbane, got to Brisbane, did the Orma Awards on the Wednesday night, ended up flying back into Whyalla on Thursday night, 8 o'clock Friday morning. We were back in Port Augusta to do piano lessons and things with School of the Air. It's just been crazy.
So it really has been, just a bit of a whirlwind the last 10 days or so. And that's what we were saying before, like it's sort of all or nothing. Like you might have that week or two you're kind of doing your music teaching during the day, a few radio interviews, but it's nice. And then bang, all of that happens. Then we're looking at everything we've got to do.
I'm too old now.
It's hard, isn't it? I sometimes think those quiet weeks are almost worse because you're like, I could get used to this. And then all of a sudden, you get no time to think about it anymore. Yeah, exactly.
So we just have to take this a day at a time and get through it, and we did. So that's amazing.
You came home with an award. How beautiful is that? Oh, you could have. Oh my gosh, it's stunning.
It is a beautiful award, isn't it? Magnificent. Yeah. What a surprise! What an honor and a thrill. It's the Australian Women in Music Awards Humanitarian Award for 2023. So that's for services, music education, and work in music in remote and regional areas. And very proud, very, very surprised when my name was called out. Oh, look, there we go.
How beautiful, though. I do. How did that moment when your name's called out, you don't even hear it, do you, for that second? You're like, was that really me?
You're aware that your award is the next one to be announced, and you're sitting in this room with all of these amazing people. You've got everyone from the legends of music like Little Patty and Judy Stone. You've got the trailblazers like Kate Sobrano. Thank you, Kaz. You've got Kate Sobrano presenting an award. You've got Dami Im performing on the stage. You've got the up-and-coming artists like Jem Casadale there. And, because the Australian Women in Music Awards, it's across all genres. And it's not just recognising people for their music, but it's also for the work they do within the music industry. So it could be, behind the scenes producing or filmmaking or being a sound engineer, or in my case, sort of the humanitarian category covers that education and philanthropy kind of thing. And so
so special to have that category there.
Oh, it absolutely is. And, you know, when I looked at Andrea and Gemma, who were the fellow finalists in this particular category, all three of us are so very different in all that we do. And I just sort of said, I don't know how you pick a winner here because, you know, obviously I'm very proud of the work we do, but Gemma's working over in Western Australia in a university capacity, and then Andrea's up in Queensland working in music industry as well. And I honestly didn't know which way it would go, but I certainly didn't think it would be me. And I was nominated back in 2019, and Danni Im won that particular award. And we went up to Brisbane and experienced it, and it was such a great night. And that's basically why we went again, because we said it was such a great night. Mark's originally from Brisbane. Let's go and catch up with his family, have that beautiful experience again. And the next thing you know, I'm in this haze of I'm walking towards the stage because my name's just been read out, you know. And
it's really hard.
Yeah, it was really special though, and I made up my speech there and then on the spot, but I think it went over okay, and they let it go to air on television, so it must have been all right.
Amazing. No, I think, and you're right, I think everybody in that category absolutely deserves to be there, and all deserve to be winners. And I agree. I'm glad I don't get to pick them. I don't want to do that job. But you both do so much in the industry and have done for so long. And to see that recognised, I think that's really special, and I think it's well deserved. So well
very
done.
humbling. And you know what we do, we don't do it for those accolades, but it is nice to get that recognition now and then, because you know, being sort of a DIY music business, we do everything ourselves. You know, we're one-stop music shop, we like to say. And so everything that we do, be that for ourselves and our album, the recording, the mixing, the mastering, the filming, the songwriting. And then what we love to do is just maybe be, I don't like to use the word role model, but, you know, try and give to the next generation coming through just a little bit of advice or help if they want it. If they've seen what we've done and they want to be able to take those next steps, if we can give them a bit of professional advice as well, then that's pretty special and pretty important, particularly being out here in the regions, I think. And
yeah. Did you take it with you to school? Have you shown them? Have you shown it around at all? Because of the holidays.
So I'll have to take it in a couple of weeks' time.
Definitely will.
It's really nice. They've already popped it in the local paper, and I've been on the radio down here. And and I had a phone call from a member of the community today. He just wanted to call and say congratulations, you know. So that's really nice. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So it's been, and little people, you know, friends that I haven't heard from a while, dropping into the inbox and saying congrats. So
it's funny. I think what we were talking about before with the album too, Danni, was relating to this. We were saying how when we talked to you last time, it was hard to predict what would happen. Like, would everything just be evaporating very quickly, and by now we've released 5 different songs off the album and that kind of thing. In a weird kind of a way, I'd say the opposite has happened with the album, and it's kind of what you're relating to with that too. We've been a little bit surprised in a good way that, like, the first song came out and everyone was saying, oh, you know, once a song is a week old, that's it. It's over.
I know, it's so silly, isn't it?
But
5 weeks, 6 weeks later, Lullaby was still clocking up, was getting a number 1 on some of the charts on the East Coast, which was fantastic. And as we thought right back at the start, all we can do is, having not been in that world for 20 years, really, we'll just play it by ear and see how it goes. So Lullaby really stretched out for, probably it was 6 or 7 weeks in before we thought, let's move towards getting Broken Ground out now. And then that's been out for 3-4 weeks. But what it means is, by now, we were kind of thinking, when we took to Danni next time, like, we're going to be on song number 4 and music video 3.
And we had that conversation before and after, didn't we? And like, it's hard to pick what's going to happen. And I was kind of excited to see what did happen as a result, because
it's kind of caught us unawares, but in a good kind of a way, because we feel like we've got that little bit of breathing space. We'll definitely get another single and an accompanying music video out before Christmas. But that initial rush that we thought maybe there'd be another 2 at least before the end of the year, maybe not, because Broken Ground is still just going along really well. The music video is clicking over. And this last week or two, not that we ever despite the success of the Australian Women in Music Awards, we never expect awards. But this last couple of weeks before we went to Brisbane, you know, Golden Guitars are due to go in, and TSA Awards in South Australia, with the South Australian Music Awards. For all of us artists, it's all exciting, but also enormous administration that goes into this.
Yes. I don't even realise how much you have to put in just for one nomination into an award. It's huge. Yeah.
And we've got to say, when we were doing all of the awards, that because we're calling it like it's awards season at the moment everywhere in Australia that does music awards, you got to be in it to win it. We don't expect to win, but, you know, we'll enter anyway. But what really stood out, actually, because they've pretty much all competitions now have moved to online forums, and I've got to say, huge shout out to CMAA with the Golden Guitars, and a huge shout out to TSA, who also had an online platform for anyone wishing to enter those awards. TSA and CMAA, their awards portals leave everything for dead. Everything else that some people in more popular music strands would say, you know, are bigger.
And no, they're really efficient.
Nowhere near as organised as country music got it. So we, as an industry, we need to be really proud of what they've done with that.
100%, absolutely. And I think in so many ways, I think the Australian country music industry in particular are leading in a lot of levels for that sort of thing. I don't know. I think because everybody works as a team in a lot of the industry, like we all get along and we all support each other, I think maybe some of the conversations happen that makes those things improve quicker maybe. But we do, I think we should be proud of our industry, because it does flow a lot better than other genres in some cases.
Absolutely.
And it's a talked about thing that I think anyone who's never been in country music thinks is a cliche, but it is very true. It's a case in point. We arrive at the Tivoli Theatre in Brisbane. We walk into the Ormers don't have a red carpet; they have a black carpet. So my wife walks the black carpet while I do the photos. But it's really amazing that you're in a capital city, you're at a major awards. You know, you're talking to Danni and all these high-profile people who are there. And then up behind you comes Cheryl Byrne, editor of Capital News. She's got Laurel Edwards, Troy's wife. I kind of knew Laurel a little bit from way back when I lived in Brisbane, and she was on radio. And as Ali said, Jem Casadali was there. Then Becky Cole has showed up. But all of those country music people have kind of all descended from all their levels of significance in that one little meeting group in the car park. And we're all saying, oh, hi, Becky, you know, hi, Jem.
I know.
When Ali won the award, I'm sure it was Cheryl Burns who was sitting in the atrium. She just about blew up the sound system. She was yelling so loudly, going, it was really amazing. And you got that feeling that maybe some of the other high-profile rock kind of industry people who were in the room, what is going on with these country music people? But that's a beautiful thing.
I'm intrigued at Kaz's comment here, because purple is my favourite colour, so I'm just not sure what that means.
Purple is your favourite colour? Yes. She will write back. I know she'll be typing away. It takes a few seconds to come through with us. But no, you're spot on. I found that every time. Mum, before Tamworth this year, Mum was always worried about me travelling and going by myself and doing all those sorts of things in music, because, you know, it's not safe in a lot of places by yourself. And the equipment we carry is expensive, and people know that. And you can, like, you know, but when we arrived in Tamworth, as we're getting on the plane in Sydney to go to Tamworth, we saw people. As we're getting out of the car, we pulled up outside the hotel, and it was just hugs and welcoming, and everyone was so happy to see you. Can I help you? Can we do this? And Mum's like, oh no. She relaxed quite a lot after that, because she saw how if I was at that award with you guys and I had nobody, and I said to you, oh, I'm lost, like, or, you know, we'd all go and sit together. We do we're just so supportive of everybody. And it makes it a safe place, but it also makes it a happy place. And we're happy even if you're nominated with somebody, there's no rivalry.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what it was for the Ormers, even though, like I said, that's multi-genre. There was just that you know, they were calling it the sisterhood because it was all about women. But we just felt so proud of how well represented country music was, both on the stage and behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
And even though we've never been away from music, but we have been very much behind the scenes, having that little hiatus from being in the commercial recording world ourselves. But yeah, having come back to it.
Now I know what you mean. Kaz, the purple air guitars. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
What are the purple air guitars?
Too.
Kaz has awards. Have you got a link to anything pop in the comments for us, Kaz? Let people go in and see your review and everything as well. Kaz is just incredible. She does so much for this industry. We couldn't do it without her. But no, I love that you guys were so well represented, and you're right. All the people that you saw there, all different, all the country music, very different too. Like, we have so many different styles and we all complement each other for that. But how many, you go back 15, 20 years ago, you didn't see the country music industry getting that foot into that level.
No, absolutely. And, unfortunately, there was that little bit of an element of country. But, there's that yeehaw thing that people aren't in the industry think that we are. And there's so much more to that. There's everything from the folk singers to the country rock, the country pop, the bush ballads, the traditional, and so many people. I love now so many people writing their own music and putting it out there, and country music just embraces all of that. It loves.
I think when you look at, like, when you go back to what a lot of people regard as the golden era of music back in maybe the 60s, 70s, there was the term that used to be used back in the 70s. It was middle of the road music, and middle of the road music was it was the Eagles, it was Glenn Campbell, it was John Denver, it was a whole lot of things that these days are kind of the styles that country music has absorbed. So you don't hear that term much anymore. But country music, particularly in Australia, but also in the US, has very much moved into that middle of the road genre.
Absolutely. We have.
And it makes sense that it's huge. Because everybody, no matter what your musical taste around the edge is, you all can find something in there that is amazing and that you like.
100%. What did Slim say a fairly long time ago now? Country adds to the sound, doesn't it? Well, it's the other way. They need us. They need us. But I love that. I love that now. Kids at school can go to school and they like a country song and it's not the end of the world. Absolutely. I like that you go into the supermarket now and you hear, and especially Australian music playing in the supermarket, and I love that feeling, because I know growing up I didn't care that I was the only one that liked country music. In fact, I felt sorry for everyone else because they didn't. Honestly, it wasn't an easy thing if you like something outside of that coolness. But country music you're right, it's that middle one that nearly everybody has at least one song in their playlist, and they don't even realize it now.
You know what? Because we teach every week, we're seeing probably 100, 150 different kids, so 150 different families. It's pretty prevalent now, and it's quite often funny because the kid or the parents will come in and say, "Oh, can we learn this song?" And go, "Oh, wow, country music song." It hasn't even occurred to them that it's a country song.
No, not at all.
It is. And most of the time, when you point out to them that it is a country song, there still is an element of that cringe factor. They go, oh, is it? And you have to say, if you love the song,
who cares?
What does it matter?
Yep. Yeah. I love that we are the country music genre, and I love that. But part of me also loves now that genres don't matter to people as much. I love that if I hear a song on the radio and go, "That's a really good song," it doesn't matter where it sits in genre anymore like it used to. It still has that place, and it will always still have its places. But it is nice that we're not as, I guess, we don't judge it as much, and people are encouraged to enjoy what they like.
Good music is good music, and that's all that matters, really.
Yeah. And that's what I love. Yes. Now, as I was saying before, you hope that you thought you might be at the 4 and 5 single releases from the album, and we were talking about, so it's not up for streaming on the platforms, but can people order it through you guys? Do you like us to go direct to your websites, or what's the best way to get a copy or order?
So people can reach out to us via our websites. There's AlisonHams.com and there's MarkTempany.com, or they can find us on social media at Tempany Hams. The album is available. There we go. What you're looking at there is the front and back cover of the CD, which comes with a beautiful souvenir booklet with all the lyrics and the credits and everything in it as well.
Love that.
You can go to MarkTempany.com or AlisonHams.com. Now, if you don't have a CD player, it is available as a digital album as well. But what we're doing is
I'll be like the barrel girl.
That's
See,
it.
look, there's a cover, and then it opens up, and then it does
I love the
that.
Where's the road? Where's the road that you took the photo on?
Up in the it is up in the Flinders Ranges, that beautiful
on the way
sunset.
to the Flinders in
So the music video for Broken Ground, which is out just now, was filmed at AEDT Station in the Flinders Ranges here in outback South Australia.
Yes.
And that magnificent sunset was taken while we were up there as well. Yeah, so a lot of the artwork, a lot of the photography in the souvenir booklet was taken during that trip up to the Flinders Range.
Yeah.
And so if people want a signed CD copy, so they've got a tangible copy of the album in their hands and they want to read the lyrics and have a look at everybody who's played on it, they absolutely can go via any of those websites or social media platforms to
12-page booklet.
How good is it? And the feeling of the booklet and I'm very much a hands-on.
That's, if you're a younger person and you don't know what a CD player is anymore, we do have a digital album as well. But you just buy it directly from us. We send it to you. You've got it in your inbox. So no data required. As opposed to
some of the platforms that we talk about, once you've got those digital files, you own them forever. So, you can transfer them onto any device. Yeah. You can play them and they are there forever. So
the question I have around the digital files, and I don't know if you know, but it's played on my mind a few times. When we purchase a digital file, it's ours forever. Does that count towards your plays in the charting world? Does it count them still?
No, the way it's a big change from 20 odd years ago. Things like ARIA charts, any of the charts now that are music charts. 25 years ago, for example, the ARIA chart in Australia was based on physical sales because everybody was
of the CD or the
I guess somebody like Kaylee Bell who recently got a gold record certified by
ARIA.
By ARIA.
Yes. Yeah.
25 years ago, that would have meant she had sold 75,000 albums. CDs, not necessarily real people, but that's how many had gone out to stores.
Yeah. It was tallied up every time one went in the post, really, wasn't it? Yeah.
So it was kind of a tangible indication of how well that album had done. And when you do the math on that, it means that back in those days, Kaylee to have sold 75,000 albums, she probably would have, between her and her record company or whoever was releasing that music, they would have generated by those 75,000 sales maybe $2 million in Australia. Yes. So that was kind of an indication of the success of a gold record.
Yes.
Now, ARIA charts are not based on anything real. They are only based on streaming on platforms like Spotify.
Yep. And it's a percentage, isn't it? It has to be played for quite a large percentage of the song.
I think the figures that I was seeing for the Kaylee stuff was something like, to get a gold certification now through ARIA in Australia, you have to have 180,000 streams. And when you on the royalties that those platforms don't pay you, it means that she's probably made about $12. So you go, now hang on a minute, 25 years ago, a gold record was $2 billion.
Yeah.
Now $12.
It's massive. And when you look at it like that, when you put the figures together and next to each other, it blows your mind, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially, we're making you work for free.
And it's and the figures change from day to day, and like you said, and it depends if the person has paid for their subscription to one of the streaming services. The royalty is different to if the person has listened to you on a free service. And I mean, none of that is the artist's fault. We put the music out there, and because people are listening to you for free, you're not getting any spin-off from that. How is that in any way
That's
fair?
Right.
If you're an artist, then you've paid money to create your art in the first place. Like I've been saying, if you go into an art shop and buy a painting to put on the wall, you own that piece of art, and the artist got some payment for that.
From that. That's right.
That it's not a digital picture that you can just swipe away, sort of thing. And so our music is our art as well. It is an interesting thing. And for us being older artists coming back into the industry, we're not that worried about topping the charts. We're not trying to get known for the first time. We know that we'll never be Taylor Swift. It's not about that. It's about the whole sort of creative process for us, and at the same time, just sort of taking that little bit of a moral stand. We love that the internet exists and that digital streaming exists, in that it lets people all over the world connect. What we don't love, and it's a bit like the writer's strike that's only just finished over in Hollywood. What we don't love is that people who work really hard to create art aren't being compensated fairly. And so it's got all the potential in the world, but in regards to that, the model is broken. So it's just us taking our little stand. And like we were saying before, there's lots of artists that are only putting out their albums in a physical way. There's lots of people who are looking after their own business, particularly all of us who are independents. I know Jodie Martin's got some albums out that are only on CD. I know Greg Champion's only on CD. Luke O'Shea's new one is coming out as a physical copy. So, you know, hopefully listeners are out there are realizing that, you know.
Gaz, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at you. It was just the comment popped up.
I wouldn't be in the leotards anymore anyway.
But, your legs and trees.
Yeah, so you know, it's got all the potential in the world to be as amazing as it is, but also be fair on the artists as well. And that's what we're saying. So,
and I think that's so special and so important. And I know, actually, I think probably you guys have led that a little bit, because I've heard of more artists, as we're saying earlier, before we went live, talking about doing that. And that's a really scary step to take at the moment. Like that is a big, brave. You're still releasing to radios. People are still hearing it. But if they want to hear more, they need to go, well, okay, well, we'll buy that. And I think I remember going to the CD centre or the CD places and, can I have a quick listen to choose the album that I was going to buy, because I had enough to buy one CD. So I'll just have a quick taste, listen to a couple of the songs, and then I'll listen to this and choose. But that was a really good experience, because when you chose somebody, that meant so much more, because they're picking your body of work to purchase. They're not just flicking through and listening.
How good was it on a lunch break or a Saturday morning, you go to a shopping centre and you're doing this and you're looking at what's out there, you know? And you're sort of building those memories. Music is part of a memory of a bigger picture, as opposed to just this. I just feel like I'm not even thinking about it anymore. And that's where that consumerism has come in, rather than that thoughtfulness around music. And you know,
when you do the math, the thing that we have noticed is a lot of the younger acts, and by younger, I guess we're talking all the kids coming through who are 25 and under. When you do the math on that, they have never known a world where, as an independent artist who makes music, they can make money out of the sale of that. And you do that Bell comparison I was talking about earlier. We can sell a single CD for $25, and we've made more income than a gold record. It's just crazy. All the young kids, they kind of don't get what we're talking about, because they can't expect to understand that they've been brought up in a world where there just is no profitability in making music. And that's really sad, because in the end, none of us are doing it for the money. But it's a business. And if nobody can afford to continually lose money, and particularly with something like music where you might be spending $10,000 or $20,000 to make an album,
easily,
no business can do that.
No, it's not viable. And also, I don't think it's really respectful either on the behalf of us listening to the music. I couldn't have a day. I don't think I could ever have a day without some sort of music playing at some point in my day. But I can't ring you up and say, could you write me a song, and I'll go and record it and pay to record it and pay the musicians to play on it, and then I'll give you 5 cents. And
the funny thing is too, it's really only those digital platforms where it's all gone wrong, because if we get the radio royalties for getting your song played on radio, they really are pretty consistent now with what they were 25 years ago. If we get played on a community radio station, maybe that one play of our song might earn us 25 cents. If we get played on a commercial radio station, it might be more like $1. If we get played on, say, Becky Cole plays us on Saturday Night Country nationally, that might earn us $5 a spin or something. Those royalties have been set in place for as long as we've been the industry, and they were obviously formulated to be as much as they can be about right.
Yeah.
And they are, you're talking about those royalty rates that pay you for getting your song played on a radio station. They're thousands of times higher than the royalty of platforms like Spotify, who are just the artists to put out the volume. And then they charge the listeners a subscription fee as well. So they take the money from the listener, they take the money from the artist, and then
the money from
none of it back to anybody. It's quite remarkable.
It's incredible, and I don't know how. I mean, I know that we have to move forward in technology and forward in within the industry, because that's how the world rolls. We roll forward, things change, but it still confuses me how something that so unfair and doesn't work across the boards ever got to a point where it got approved and started. I just don't know how we blinked and missed that. But I think we definitely.
I think is what it was in Australia, bodies like APRA and AMCOS. Maybe there was a 12-month period where things like Apple Music first arrived, or iTunes as it was back at the start, and it wasn't that they thought, oh, it'll just go away, but nobody could have predicted that in a few short years it would be the entire industry.
Because even if you look at iTunes, at least in that regard, it was a digital platform, but people were buying the song.
That's right.
They could buy a single. It's just that they were buying it on their device rather than going to the store to buy it. But they were still owning that. So I see that they are releasing cassettes again. And
I love that.
Vinyls obviously had a big resurgence. Cassettes again. Hopefully some people are still out there buying CDs, and or like we've said, even just buying a digital album direct from us, direct from the artist. There's so many different ways that you can listen to music, and it's amazing. So it's just a matter of finding that balance of what's fair. So that, because there are some people who are going, well, I now know that I can't sell my music, so I'm going to just try and sell my merchandise. But you you can't rely on selling T-shirts to make a living out of the music industry either.
Exactly. It's silly, isn't it? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
No, but look, what you guys are doing, and hey, it's working, because look, you guys, as we were saying before, you're 4 months in and your album's doing so well. And Jonathan, hi Jonathan, thank you for coming across. He still buys CDs. I think a lot of people do, and I think that's the special thing, is that people are learning, and we're definitely getting the word out there that, hey, we need you to, when you're at a show, buy the album, and buy merch if we've got merch. But it's really important that you buy it if you can, and support that way. And I think it's a matter of re-educating people and continuing that education.
And even though it might be a long, slow road, I think that information is filtering out there, and more people are starting to realize. And even if they are on the platforms, they might say, buy the album just to help us out, and look at it while you're listening.
That's what I do. I'll buy the album and then I don't use it, because I then go, well, okay, so this album, this is fantastic, and this deserves to be, credited, whether it be with number ones or awards or radio play. But so I'll go and stream it after I've bought it to try and get it to give back to them and try and give some streams. But you shouldn't have to do that. You shouldn't. Yeah. It should be that there's got to be a better way of measuring it, and a better way of compensating everybody reasonably.
Absolutely. And just try and realize that, absolutely, supporting the artists, particularly the independents, it's not just about the numbers.
Yes, exactly.
We have kids say to us, so how many likes did it get? And I say, it's not about that.
No, it doesn't matter at all. I agree. No. Now, I know we're talking earlier. Would you guys still like to do a bit of a song for us?
Yeah, we can do that. So what we thought we might do is have just give you a little taste of the song that's currently on radio, which is called Broken Ground. The music video out for this one as well. That's what we were saying before.
Yes.
Filmed in the magnificent Flinders Ranges here in South Australia. And it is an album track and a single on radio right now called Broken Ground.
Wonderful. I'll give you the room and enjoy, everyone.
She comes back the waistcoat,
Looks out the window, out over field, the primrose and mold. Dusk settles in, moonlight begins, stardust floating gently above. It's a picture perfect scene, almost like a dream. It moves back up the driveway to the horizon, out over fields, broken down lights. One thing's for certain, it's new ground he's breaking. Primrose and mold is turned into dark. The picture takes a sorry turn. Seems there's still so much to learn. They say everything happens for a reason. After winter comes a warmer season. After fire comes the rain. It's so hard to explain that the only waterfall in the field is tears. For the years on broken ground.
You've got to get the CD to hear the rest of it.
I like that. That's a good idea. How beautiful.
Or you can at least watch the video on YouTube.
Yeah,
exactly. Now I have, because of the video, I have popped your YouTube link up there just so that people can go up there and have a look at the full video and enjoy it.
And if you watch the video, you got to look about halfway through for the sheep, because we filmed it on AEDT station, and some of the locations were more or less where one of the drinking troughs were for the stop. And because we were there early in the morning when they all wanted to drink, and late in the afternoon when they all wanted to drink, it was really a comical part of it. That apart from this one little shot you've got to identify in the video where the sheep are walking in the distance, but you could find them. What they were doing was, because we'd moved over to take that particular shot, they'd gone right. They've moved away from the drinking trough. We're going to go around them about half a kilometre and back to the drinking trough. But it was just this constant battle, and I was laughing because I'm filming Alison doing her performance, and all I'm seeing through the viewfinder, apart from Ali there doing her broken ground thing, is over her shoulder there's like a white fluffy head that's going like
poking up.
and I get over there without them seeing me, and they were just all around us all the time, and emus as well.
Goodness knows what they were thinking. Some goats. There's this strange lady in the middle of absolutely nowhere, singing to the sky, singing like this, and there's these little heads popping up. What's that going on?
What's going on over there? Yes, I like it though. That's the magic of being able to film so much now and do those sorts of things, isn't it? Because those are the sorts of things that I love to see in film clips, and the real unplanned moments.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've just got some special memories because, basically the station manager said to us, you've got the run of the place. So, and we said, we'll leave nothing behind but our footprints. And we just were having this amazing time in the middle of nowhere, experiencing these beautiful sunsets and sunrises. And yeah, the cockatiels wheeling overhead, or just just these beautiful sounds of nature, and just to be immersed in that, just the creaking of the windmill, all of those beautiful things that, we just won't forget, because it was just us creating this piece of art in the middle of this beautiful nature. And
I think we said to Danni last time, I can't remember last time, I think we might have just done it, but for the title track Out Into the Blue, we've shot the video footage in Woomera, which is way up in the middle of South Australia. It's a landscape like no other. It's really, nothing grows higher than that. And 180 degrees of absolute nothing. And sunrise and sunset in that was just amazing, with your music just pounding out at high volume so that you can hear it while you're filming. It was really quite stunning, and just the two of us, because we just work with the two of us, really. We don't have the whole team, so I'm production, that's the talent, and we're doing all that kind of stuff, that thing. But we've got that all filmed and in the can, but I've got to edit that together to be a clip yet, because it'll probably be one of the last ones to come out. We've got a couple of others that we have to get filming between now and then. And then, our studio just never seems to stop at the moment. We've got 3 or 4 songs going through during the school holiday break, and the School of the Air project, which is just bigger than Ben-Hur.
80 students each came through and sang the School of the Air song. And so we've got all of these tracks, and now we've got to chop it together so it sounds great, and they all get a little bit of
everyone from reception to grade 7.
Yeah, they all they'll all be heard on there, and so we're hearing that over and over and over again. But it's going to be something really special when that comes out. It's a bit of a once in a generation project for those kids, to
100%, a
recording studio and have this song all about them. So it's exciting. Yeah,
it is very exciting, and I hope it inspires them to come out into this industry and to see that they might live in what would probably feel like the middle of nowhere at times, but they still can do this. This special part about this music industry is it doesn't matter where you are, you can do it, and it just opens doors for them to show it's hard, but you can do it, and you can.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I mean, you've virtually quoted my my speech from the Ormas last week. That's what I said I said I hope that this might show to young people coming through that as long as you work hard, you dream big, don't let location affect you. You can expand your horizons, and you can. It'll be hard work, but in the end, it's worth it.
It's worth it, 100%. And I think once music's part of your life, you can't go without it. It's impossible. You can try, but it will win every time.
Yeah.
Before we do go, though, again, just to touch base, where can we get your album, and also where can we see you when you're performing? Would you update that on your website and your socials for performances and tickets?
Absolutely. So if people want to follow us on any of the social medias, they can find us at Tempany Hams. There we go. And we are on Facebook, Insta, Twitter. There you go. And check out the music video on YouTube. But definitely have a look at our websites as well, marktempany.com and alisonhams.com. And we'll keep the gig guide up to date. We've got
pretty much anything that happens will be on the socials. And if anyone's interested in an album, go to one of those websites. You'll see the obvious picture of the album that everybody knows now, The Road, with Mark and Alison walking down. Click on it, it'll take you to the store. If you do choose to get one, that's taking you to the store that is actually us. So there's nobody else selling that product to you. It's our store. When you buy, when you send a message or a question, that's directly to us, and that money goes directly to us.
That is just amazing too.
Buy a CD, we can sign it for you. You can tell us what you want. We can do that kind of a thing. So it's going back to that old-fashioned way of putting the artist and the audience right there next to each other
together. And I love that connection that we can get to by doing that. Like you get to know the artist a bit more because you are dealing through them, and it is them doing that sort of thing. And I think that connection, that people really get to know the music better because they have that. You're hands on, you're doing it all, and it's special. And Jonathan, he popped a comment. Sorry, I didn't quite read it before. It's I got my friend's songs streaming 24 hours a day, but he also buy his friend's CDs. See, that's really, really amazing to do that, Jonathan, and that's all about and educating people that this is what we can do to help and I know, Jonathan, you're often posting and telling people who, go and do this, go and help that. It's that education that you're spreading as well, as fans and industry people. It's really important to teach, to re-educate.
What Jonathan's doing and what you do, Danni, through this and that whole online medium, where the big positive is for this is we can talk to you, we can talk to everybody, everybody can find us. That was the part in the past that was the big negative, because we had a fax machine, we had to ring somebody up or post them something, and that was really expensive and limiting as well. So there are some good things.
100% there are, yeah. I think the other really lovely thing, and I guess growing up in Tasmania and before the world of the internet and social media and the ease of access to different artists, the beautiful thing about this is that we can get our music or who we are out to a much wider audience. And if they can't get to a show, they can still feel a part of that musician's journey. But it would just be lovely if we could get it to the point where that is working as well as it is now, but also the other side of it's not costing you an arm and a leg just to record a song for somebody else to listen to for nothing. It would be lovely if we could find that happy medium, because technology, it has such a beautiful place in the industry. We've just got to rethink it and do it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
And we can. We can do that. Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the award. I hope we haven't kept you for so long, but I love having you guys on, and I can't wait to see you guys in person and to be able to do this. Hopefully within the next 12 months we get to do that and get over to see you guys. Or you guys come down and play.
We might still be pushing the album in 12 months.
Good. I love that. And I love that you're right, because a song, 2 weeks in and there's another one out and people have forgotten 2 weeks ago what song was that, but you've actually been able to do your album and you're releasing it. It is still current 4 months later, which in today's world isn't easy to do. So well done. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're very proud of it. It is a body of work, and there's so many different stories in there. Yes. And like Mark said, we've got the Out Into the Blue music video. We've got at least 3 more singles and hopefully music videos to come with them that we really want to get out there, because there's some really special songs and stories that we want to tell and get out there. So yeah, we're excited.
I can't wait. And good luck to all your students as well. Tell them that we're all thinking about them, and I hope it goes really well. But it'd be lovely if we could have you back for your next single release and again, hopefully before the end of the year.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how we go. It's like we're hurtling towards that end of the year.
No.
You can wear a Christmas hat.
I think that's a good idea. We might discuss that further, I think. But thank you so much for joining us, and thank you everybody for jumping across from Facebook. Look, the sound over here on YouTube is so clear and so wonderful. It is. If you can remember to watch it on YouTube, you still get to put the comments in. You still get to talk to each other and interact with us. But it is a more reliable platform, and it'd be really great to see you guys coming over here and subscribing so that you get those reminders. And hopefully we can get Facebook to fix whatever's going on. But they don't write back, so it's hard to get it fixed. But
No, it's the other thing. They don't. It's who do you talk to?
Exactly.
Facebook. Yeah.
Exactly. No, well, thank you again, everybody, and thank you so much for coming back on and also playing the song for us. That was beautiful.
Thanks, Danny. Thank you so much for having us, and thanks to everybody who tuned in. We always love it. So thank you.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys next week. Have a lovely weekend and stay safe.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. See you next time with the latest with Country Kickback.